Hello everybody, welcome back to the Malbeefance channel. This is episode 10 of our series replay for Strategic Command American Civil War. As you've noticed, winter has set in over a good portion of the map. When I zoom out, you don't get to see the graphic, unfortunately, but we got a lot of snow going on right now. We'll see if that covers over or carries over into the next turn. You've got frozen ground out here in Kentucky and Missouri, so that is affecting movement as well as combat, and so hopefully that'll carry over into the next turn and hopefully slow down any offensive that is going on the part of the computer. Unfortunately, I was not able to completely wipe out Anderson's infantry division last turn. Hopefully I will get a second opportunity here, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and advance the turn and see what we get. Alright, so the Creek surrender, that was anticipated. Union plunders a whole 4 production points. And there we go. Those are the scripted volunteers I was talking about. Alright, Confederate bushwhackers again. And now pro-Confederate bandits in Kentucky. And there's our warships blocking the Hampton Roads. The Sabine hits rough seas. Now, if that doesn't cause damage to the frigate, it will cause them to lose a supply point. Sometimes it'll do both. So War Development or War Department reports development in spying and intelligence 100%. I missed the other one. Alright, so spying and intelligence level 2. Production level technology 1. There's our ledger for the up and coming turn. Computer is calculating supply for the Confederacy. I promised myself I would stop my faux southern accent for this episode. Alright, so that tells me we got at least 2 Confederate river ironclads here on the Cumberland River. So yeah, so they went ahead and they repaired Anderson's division in place. That might actually work to our advantage. Alright, so the Confederate Navy, such as it is making its presence known. A couple of attacks across all the various theaters. Are we going to be able to hang on to Fort Thorne? And so that brigade's being particularly aggressive. They want that infantry regiment. Alright, so now that thrust towards Santa Barbara was not the best move. And then General Banks has done exactly what I hoped he would do in drawing out Confederate units to attack his piece here on the board. Okay, so more forces showing up in Kentucky and some moving around to the existing ones. And so here we go. So here we got the Northern Virginia forces backing up again. And now reinforcements showing up near Paducah across the river from Cairo. And there is the Virginia. as anticipated. So there's the report of our raiders blockading convoy routes. A skirmish is fought at Stanwix Station between the California column as it continues its march eastward. They cannot arrive too early. Now the computer is calculating supplies for my upcoming turn. There is our activity summary. Intelligence spots General Johnston, and a brigade is spotted in Pensacola. Our reinforcements, I'm going to put that gunboat right on the transfer point. Now my two mountain divisions, now I got a decision to make here. I could deploy those mountain divisions here in Western Virginia in order to assist General McClellan. Although at the moment his support is, he can only support 4 units at a time. Obviously I could use them to help increase General Grant's forces, but he is going to be picking up all of these gunboats, and I do not wish to overwhelm him. General Halleck is also about maxed out on how many forces he can support. And unfortunately, General Fremont is working beyond his rated capacity. So it is a little difficult for me to decide where I can best deploy these mountain divisions. Now, because I wish to remove the Farragut Marines and redeploy them elsewhere, I do believe that I will deploy the mountain divisions to help General McDowell. And in this way I can also keep my promise to be more aggressive in Northern Virginia. So let me deploy the mountain divisions on a rail line here in Maryland so that they will be able to quickly deploy up here into Winchester and Kernston and relieve the Farragut Marines. Meanwhile, I will upgrade 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Marine Corps divisions. And Video Toaster Division can move out. Let's see. Nope, I can't rail move. He's not on a rail line. So let me get him up there on the rail line. Alright, I am going to pull General Banks's headquarters unit out of danger. And we were able to bag our 1st Confederate Infantry Division. Awesome. Alright, now I gotta remember I have to keep a unit somewhere around Warrenton here because of him. Oh, awesome. Now, unfortunately, there may be a Confederate unit here southwest of Winchester, so it is a risk moving in there. But you know what? Let me try something. Oh, awesome. There we go. So let's occupy Winchester. Now, is there another? Yes, there's another one up here. Alright, so I'm going to leave General McDowell here in Harper's Ferry for the time being. Since I can't do any significant damage to that infantry division, I'll just reinforce him. And he attacks, so there's nothing I can do there. I have a feeling he's going to wind up getting ganked next turn, but if he should be destroyed and Confederate units attempt to move through, they will be blocked by the video toaster division. Alright, so I can't effectively attack the Virginia while she is in port at Norfolk. So let's see if we can set up an ambush. And so she can either stay there or make a run for it. We'll see what happens. So he's down to 6 supply, so let me get him back to Cape Hatteras. And the Tahoma can take over. The Sabine is doing okay. So is the Wabash. So we will take the opportunity to have the Colorado return for supplies as the Minnesota relieves her off at Jacksonville. Now I do need the Powhatan to pull in for supplies. Now, can we do some significant damage to the General Sumter? Alright, and supply for the other 2 gunboats is not bad. Alright, no, that does not take care of the Navy yet. I still have a few ships I need to move. You know what, I'm just going to move him there. I'm going to send both of these down to the Mississippi. Okay, so that should take care of naval forces. Now my beleaguered troops over here in the far western theater. Now I promised I would not torture you with my southern accent, but please forgive me, I lied. Been practicing all day just for that previous episode. Alright, so we'll get, now that they're upgraded, I'll go ahead and I'll start moving them south. And as I mentioned before, they did not show up too soon. Now, full disclosure here, I'm not used to hanging on to Fort Thorne. I'm surprised I've held on to it this long. Okay, they have got at least 2 infantry regiments, 3 infantry brigades, 2 cavalry regiments. The computer could easily focus all of that on Fort Thorne and knock me out of there and then occupy the city, and that is what I am used to. I'm used to being pushed back past Santa Barbara, okay, sometimes even as far as Fort Craig, before I'm able to utilize the mountains and what few forces I have to slow the Confederate advance down. But I'm not seeing all of the forces that I'm used to seeing over here. So I don't know what's going on there. So luckily I have been able to hang on to Fort Thorne. I have been able to put up sort of a defensive line here in front of Santa Barbara, and hopefully we will be able to hold it. All right, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and move on over to the Indian Territories, reinforce Fort Washita. If the computer puts a second unit onto the siege of Fort Washita, it will probably take it. So let me try and improve our connection with Fort Gibson. And now, yep, there's nobody in Salina, but that's probably where he's heading. So Honey Springs is occupied. Tahlequah is occupied. Wowoka's probably also occupied. Now this brigade is in a dangerous position. They are extending their supply to Razor Thin. Hopefully the computer will continue to make that mistake and I will be able to pinch off another unit. Unfortunately, I'm not able to reinforce those cavalry regiments as much as I would like. Just going to have to get folks closer to Fremont, closer to our supply lines. I hope I did not forget to move them last time. So because the scripted reinforcements have shown up near Santa Fe, I'm going to have Riley's Rangers come down and help support the Sioux Indian Cavalry and the Fort Gibson garrison. Okay, so that is going to take care of the Western Theater. Now let's go ahead and move on to General Grant and General Halleck. So I'm slowly getting General Halleck's forces up to strength. All right, the Cairo Ironclad took out that river gunboat. Let's see what kind of damage we can do to this infantry brigade. Not a whole lot. Not with the gunboats anyway. Well, now that was useful. Alright, so let's go ahead and upgrade him. Tough call. Let's try and get him across the river. Alright, so Gainesville is unguarded at the moment. Thank you. Get this riverboat someplace where they can get repaired. Whoops. Okay, that was not helpful. That actually was. Alright, so that is pretty much going to do it for the armies of the Mississippi and the Tennessee. So now the Army of the Cumberland. Do I want to advance that? Yes, we'll advance that far. Now the River Timberclad is not going to do well against River Ironclad, so I'm going to try and keep him a little bit out of harm's way. How far can I advance him with rail movement? A lot closer than I thought it would. Okay. Oops. Alright, so now next turn they're going to have prepared attacks against the Confederate Infantry Brigade in Hartford unless this infantry division swaps out with him or some other infantry division that I might not be able to see down here. With that in mind, let's try scouting out. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and have Dino Division attack. I know the weather is not the greatest, but I would like to keep the pressure on. Alright, so we got him to retreat. And that gives me an opportunity to reinforce the Far Est Division. Now I'm going to take a page out of the computer's playbook and I'm going to hold the Paul's YT and the Borowitz Division back a hex from the Confederate Division in Hopkinsville in the hopes that they will attempt to move and they do not see these two units and they will wind up getting ambushed. Now I do know that the Borowitz Division in Princeton is not visible because of the trees, but whether or not the computer will advance on Golconda remains to be seen. So that is going to do it for the Central Theater. There is nothing I want to do for the Army of the Ohio except to reinforce and upgrade where I am able. I'm sorry about my skill with the mouse at the moment. My wireless mouse is a bit less sensitive, but the battery died, and so now I'm operating with a different mouse, my backup mouse, and its left mouse button is a little more sensitive than what I'm used to, so I accidentally double click it. Alright, so we've already fought on the Eastern Theater here on the Northern Virginia front. And so now, alright, so push spying and intelligence again, but I'm only going to put one chit in there because I do want to put at least one research chit into amphibious warfare. So that only leaves me 100. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that in the balloons because I want to get that second balloon unit so that I can go ahead and I can have them holding some of these rebel spawning points. Alright, so that is going to do it for this turn. And once again, it ran a little bit longer than I had anticipated. I guess we're getting into that point where the amount of things that got to get done in a single turn are going to take me out to 20, 30 minutes, and I'm not going to be able to get 2 turns per episode unless I cut down on the amount of frivolous information I'm throwing out there like I have been these last 2 turns. So anyways, let me know if you want me to go ahead and keep doing the history backgrounds or not. I mean, yeah, I remember one of you said that I can go ahead and I can type it into the comment section and pin it. Yeah, I could do that, but I don't know. I prefer it spur of the moment stuff. Sitting down and typing all of that out. Um, yeah, I could do that. I guess I will. Maybe I'll try a mix of the two. How's about that? We'll see how that works out. All right. So with that in mind, if you made it this far, if you've been able to stay awake, go ahead, leave a like, drop a comment if you will. Um, what's the rest of that stuff? What's the rest of the cheesy line? Oh yeah, now I remember. Um, Subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with somebody that you think might like this kind of content. And until then, thank you, and I will see you in the next one.